Hello everyone, welcome back to our League of Legends DFS esports breakdown for August the 14th. This slate is coming out a little bit early and my video is coming out a little bit late. So this is going to be a pretty quick video, all things considered, just that way I can get it up. You guys can, get all the info you need and hopefully have everything set before it's too late. So we'll go ahead and we'll quickly just kind of cover the recap overall. Again, another pretty bad day overall. We were on TT pretty heavy over RA. RA ended up getting the underdog as a decently sized underdog of RA over TT. Again, this is one that we definitely, it definitely felt pretty different compared to the rest of the games. From the entire year. Obviously, we've been playing this stuff pretty consistently, I think, since like February. I don't even know how many videos this is, probably in the hundreds by now. But definitely felt pretty different. It definitely felt like TT played pretty different compared to how they normally played. Definitely worth noting that these teams that are playing for playoff spots have been playing differently. We don't have that today. Fortunately, all the playoff scenarios are already underway, except for one, which is the RNG are actually playing for the number 2 seed, which is pretty important over in the LPL. That does mean you get, I believe, an automatic bye to the winners semifinals. So it's a pretty sizable advantage to have that number 2 seed. So I expect RNG to continue to play this one pretty stout, and something to keep in mind. Then the LGD side, obviously, Ultra Prime and WE. Bottom 3 teams in the league at the moment, so not expecting too much. I do think this one could be a little crazy. Over in the LCK, pretty similar story. All the things are pretty much set, I believe. This is the last set of matches over in the LCK. Pretty unexciting ones. I do think we have the bottom 3 teams, I believe. Well, in my opinion, I would have Fred Brion probably a little bit above these guys at the moment, but statistically, Kwangdong, Nongshim, and Hanwha are playing, and then we have DRX, who's like the 6th place team. So 4 out of the bottom 5 teams playing tonight. Not that too exciting for the LCK, but nonetheless. And then recapping. We were just pretty dead wrong about Genji T1, or sorry, about T1 Damwon. Damwon obviously just really didn't do too much there, and they just didn't make it very interesting. Genji and KT, we actually got this one relatively right. I did say that this one might have gone to 3, and I do think KT would have made this series a little bit closer than people thought. And it did end up coming kind of out that way. So I definitely feel pretty, relatively confident here, all things considered. And we don't have the weird playoff implications like we had before. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. So first series up, Ultra Prime versus WE. Ultra Prime are swapping out their top laners. No more Zoom. It is going to be Harry. Pretty odd one. We can look quickly at what Harry has done before. So far, not very much. He's been a lot of academy, pretty much just around the academies for a few years now. He was promoted for up to the Edward Gaming main team for it looks like about 8 months, actually, not too bad, and then sent back down through the academy system. So getting another chance here in a relatively meaningless series. He did play a good bit in the spring playoffs, obviously with Ultra Prime Academy. He played pretty dominant picks overall. He played a lot of the Graves, Sigkennen, like Tryndamere, Jace. Some pretty strong things, all things considered. Some pretty good carry-oriented picks. Yone game here, some Gwen, one Malphite game here. That was a pretty odd one, but pretty interesting stuff. I don't have any. I'd be lying if I said I had really that much info on him. We obviously were not expecting this kind of move by any means. So I personally know very, very little about this player. I'm not going to lie to you guys at all about it. He's going up against Demon, who I think has been pretty poor himself. So I think overall this should be a relatively close top lane matchup. 2 kind of players coming out from the academies, playing in the main stage. Things could be pretty interesting here. Overall, I'm actually liking Team WE a good bit here. Obviously, there's the stink of this team Being 0-14, they are looking to, or 0-15, they're looking to complete the perfect season of not winning a series, going 0-16. I do think if they were to get a match, it probably would be this one. I'm pretty excited for this. I have a pretty good feeling here with WE. I think they're going to want to very much try to avoid the 0-16 record. I do think that's definitely something that definitely weighs heavily on their minds. That could be kind of a negative factor, like we've been talking about with how the pressures and stuff can add up on these teams. But I think, once you're 0-15, is there really that much pressure to go, to avoid being 0-16? I just think they're going to want to avoid it. I've been relatively impressed with some of the play from WE. Again, they have not been able to put a lot together, but I think overall Ultra Prime are pretty overrated overall. Just kind of with the names they have. Obviously they don't have Zoom here anymore, so the name value is lacking a good bit considering they have Harry and Mianu. But overall, I'm definitely willing to take the WE shot here. I'd be interested to see the odds here. I do think Ultra Prime should be like a somewhat decently sized favorite, but overall, I'm definitely feeling like the WE side, and this is going to be a pretty close, probably pretty big Fiesta style game overall. And then the next one up is LGD versus RNG. Again, RNG playing for that top 2 slot in the playoffs, probably something they're going to go for a good bit. LGD are bringing back a different jungle mid laner here. They're, instead of Quay and Haichao, they're going with Shadow and Yeji. I do think this is probably the worst, kind of lesser of the two options for like the mid jungle combos that they have. Overall, this is just going to be extremely one-sided, I think, in the RNG favor. As we bring up the stats here, we can see we actually have a lot of viable matchups here. We do see Nongshim KDF and DRX Hanwha, kind of hovering around that 23 kills per game mark. Ultra Prime WE is about 24, and then obviously LGD RNG is all the way up at 27, heavily inflated by that RNG, over 1 kill combined kill per minute. So pretty insane numbers from the RNG side at the moment. I think they're going to continue that here. I do expect RNG to be very insanely owned, and I find it hard to get away from that spot. Overall, I definitely feel very comfortable going with a lot of RNG and WE here from the LPL. Looking over to the LCK, I don't see too much. DRX pretty sizable favorites over Hanwha. Pretty fair. Hanwha have been looking insanely bad lately. Maybe end of the year things get a little bit weird, but I don't know. I feel like these Hanwha players are kind of playing for a job here, so I don't think they're going to make it that much of a fiesta overall. So it's kind of just going to be a DRX 2-0 here for me, but I don't find any value on pretty much anything here. So overall, it's going to be it's going to be a pass for me. I'm not really involved in this DRX Hanwha series at all. I don't think DRX is dominant enough to justify a minus 500 price tag, no matter how bad Hanwha are overall. So I'm just going to stay away from that one. Nongshim versus KDF. This one can be pretty interesting here. I definitely kind of disagree with this price tag of having KDF as the minus 160 favorite. Obviously obviously Nongshim have kind of been up and down. It's definitely been a kind of, I can't describe it any better, an up and down set of games here for Nongshim. They came off the heels of a 2-0 over Hanwha, and then where they have a couple of losses in game 3 to T1 DRX, obviously lost to Fred Brion, and then a win over LSB. Overall, I just think KDF have been playing really poorly as of late. They've been, granted they do have a couple wins over like these low-end Fred Brion Hanwha games, but even those do not look that convincing. I do think this one could be a little bit decent tempo just because of not tempo, but a little bit decent because I do think both of these teams play at a pretty sizable length game. I don't think either one of them make too many mistakes, so I could definitely see it going pretty long overall. Sorry about that. Sorry about that Steam name friend there. But either, I don't know, I got sidetracked by that. My apologies. Yeah, I just think this one actually could be like kind of low-key not bad in terms of like DK scoring and stuff. I do think this one could be a pretty interesting pivot. especially on that Nongshim side. Again, I do think that these games probably go long. I could definitely see them going, um, you know, pretty long, and I do think that could lead itself to being pretty decent in terms of scoring. I'm definitely interested in this one. I do like the Nongshim side of it. I just think KDF have been playing pretty poorly as of late, and you guys know I kind of just have a kind of a soft spot in my heart for Nongshim. It really is kind of that simple. I just feel like they sometimes they play so well and then they just kind of throw it all away. I do think KDF are good enough to definitely punish Nongshim for their mistakes. Um, I just think this one goes 3, and I just kind of like the look of Nongshim to hopefully be able to kind of get it done. That's all it comes down to for me. So it will be the Nongshim underdog pick here. And I think I'm going to leave it kind of there and head over and look at the players' stats here right away. I don't think there's anything too much to touch on here. Try to keep this one a little bit shorter for you guys, as it's coming out kind of late. So we'll look at this players and go in and get out of here. So Nongshim, of course, we have RNG, and then Team WE. Yep, pretty good. Everyone's coming up here. Obviously no heal. Probably will be Snowflower. I do expect, considering he's been playing for them the whole time lately. So, good numbers for him. Xiaohu's been climbing right back up to kind of where he was. That obviously is a big reason why they're playing much better as of late. Obviously, grouping wise, pretty decent here for WE. That we have Xing, Shanks, Kadaya all up here. Views about 68%. Demons about 54% overall. So something to keep in mind. Keep in mind there. For top laners, doesn't look that great here. Really anywhere. So Demon Breathe and Kana are all under 60 percent participation. So you could definitely make a case to go kind of anywhere top lane. You're kind of just flipping a coin in a way here. Granted, Breathe does kind of have a decent kill share number, and he does kind of play the Gnar a little bit more than everyone else, and that is a champion I do like because it is mostly looking to group up and team fight. So, as opposed to something like the Gwen's kind of here or there. Fiora is definitely a bad champion for a DFS pick. Kana is kind of across the board. I definitely wouldn't be afraid to go with Kana. I do think that he's a decent option. If for me, it would be either Kana if I'm going cheap, or I could definitely be fine playing Breathe as well. Although Gala's kill share and all this stuff is a little bit low compared to everyone else. Considering that the lowest non-top laner here is Gala at 68%, that kind of means you could go anywhere. Between the top, which is Snowflower at 78, and the bottom of Gala, which is 68, the entire slate is kind of open to you here. I would be definitely willing and open to a lot of different options and builds. I think double mid if you're looking at something like Snowflower and Shanks, Xiaohu and Shanks. Both of those players are very high, about 26% kill share. Their kill participation about 75%. Two insane numbers for Xiaohu and Kadaya. We've definitely seen a lot more rise of the mid laner here. BDD as well, 71% and 28% kill share. Definitely be very much fine with getting these mid laners in as captains, if you do want to go that route. So overall, a lot of open options here. I think overall that's the direction I want to go. Again, I do like RNG a lot. They are super, super expensive. I think they're, of course, very, very likely to win. We kind of skipped over their odds, but RNG minus 1600 makes sense. Ultra Prime minus 175 over WE, that makes sense as well. I kind of agree with that as well. But I still like the WE side, nonetheless. Nongshim plus 123. Again, this one does just feel a lot closer than these odds look. I do think those odds are fair, but again, I just like the Nongshim side of that one. So I think between combining RNG, mixing and matching them with these two underdogs of Team WE Nongshim, I think that could be hopefully leading to a pretty solid day here. So that is going to be how I'm breaking it down, and that's going to be how I'm looking at it. I definitely would be, granted, I did just talk about how Gala's numbers were not that bad. That could be an option to try to get a little bit unique and try to maybe leave off some Gala in your lineups, try to get a little bit different that way. Definitely an option for me. So, that's just that's the way to look at it. Try to get like a Xiaohu captain leave off Gala. Just hope Xiaohu picks up the kills. Maybe Gala's not involved, as much, and you could be leading to a good day. So I think overall, yeah, that'll be it for me tonight. Again, a little bit of quicker video because I'm getting this out a little bit late. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I don't know when I'll see you guys next. This is the last video of the regular season for the LCK. I believe for the LPL as well. So maybe I'll see you guys during playoff time. I'm not sure, but I'll see you guys when I see it. Thank you guys for tuning in with me throughout the year, and I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me.